I never believed that a secret could physically hurt someone. I used to think that phrase, "my heart almost stopped," was just an exaggeration people used when they were scared. That was before the night I learned the truth hidden inside my own house. The truth that had been waiting patiently for years, watching me live my normal life, laughing quietly as I remained completely unaware. By the time I uncovered it, my hands were shaking so badly I could barely stand, and my chest felt like it was being crushed from the inside. It all started on an ordinary evening, the kind that feels so normal you don't remember it later. Rain tapped softly against the windows, the lights flickered once, and I was alone in the house I had lived in for nearly 7 years. The house had always felt safe, old, maybe a little creaky, but familiar. It was the place where I slept peacefully every night, unaware that something within its walls knew more about me than I knew about myself. I was cleaning the storage room in the basement that night, something I had avoided for years. It smelled of dust and damp cardboard, and the single bulb hanging from the ceiling cast long, nervous shadows on the walls. I told myself I was just organizing old boxes, but deep down, I think I wanted distraction. My mind had been restless lately. I felt watched sometimes, especially at night, but I always blamed stress or an overactive imagination. In the far corner of the room, behind a stack of boxers labeled winter clothes, I noticed something strange. A small wooden panel on the wall looked newer than the rest, as if it had been replaced recently, or at least more recently than everything else in that basement. My heart began to beat faster, not from fear exactly, but from curiosity. I told myself it was probably nothing. Old houses had repairs. Still, my hands hesitated before touching it. When I pulled the panel loose, I expected to find wires or pipes. Instead, I found a narrow opening, just wide enough to fit my hand. Inside was a metal box, cold and heavy. The moment my fingers touched it, a sharp chill ran through my body. I remember thinking I should put it back, pretend I never saw it. But secrets have a way of pulling you in once you're close enough. I carried the box upstairs and placed it on the kitchen table. The rain outside had grown louder, almost impatient. The box had no lock, just a simple latch. I opened it. Inside were old photographs, folded papers, and a small digital device that looked like a recorder. My chest tightened. The photos were of me, not recent selfies or public pictures. These were taken inside my house. Me sleeping on the couch, me reading at the kitchen table, me lying in bed, my face peaceful and unaware, my vision blurred, and for a moment I thought I might faint. I checked the dates written on the back of the photos. Some were from years ago. Years. This wasn't a recent joke or some twisted prank. Someone had been watching me for a very long time. My hands trembled as I picked up the recorder. I didn't want to press play, but not knowing felt worse than the fear itself. The first recording started with static, then a voice, calm, slow, and terrifyingly familiar. It was my voice. I dropped the recorder like it had burned me. My heart slammed against my ribs so hard I thought it might actually explode. The room spun, and I had to sit down to keep from collapsing. After several deep breaths, I forced myself to pick it up again. I needed to understand. I needed answers. The recordings weren't exactly my voice, more like someone mimicking it, practicing it. The person spoke about my routines, my habits, what time I went to bed, what side I slept on. They described my dreams as if they could see them. Each sentence made my skin crawl. One recording stood out more than the rest. It was dated just 3 days earlier. "If you're hearing this," the voice said, "it means you finally found the box. I always wondered how long it would take." My throat went dry. "You think you live alone?" the voice continued, "but you never have." I don't remember standing up, but suddenly I was on my feet, checking every door, every window. Everything was locked. The house was silent except for the rain and my own ragged breathing. I wanted to run, but where would I go? Whoever had done this knew everything about me. I forced myself to listen to the rest. The voice explained that the house had hidden spaces, crawlways between walls, narrow passages built decades ago for reasons lost to time. The speaker said they had lived in those spaces for years, unnoticed, surviving quietly, watching. They spoke not with hatred, but with fascination, as if I were a subject in a long experiment. The worst part wasn't the invasion of privacy, it was the affection in the voice. "I watched you grow," it said, "watched you cry, watched you sleep. You felt safe here because I made sure you were." That was when the pain hit my chest, sharp, unbearable. I clutched the edge of the table as my vision narrowed. For a terrifying moment, I thought this was it, that the secret really would kill me. I had to sit down, focusing on breathing, counting each inhale like my life depended on it. When the pain eased slightly, one thought screamed louder than the rest. Is this person still here? I grabbed my phone and called the police, my voice shaking as I tried to explain. They arrived within minutes, their presence grounding me just enough to stay conscious. I showed them the box, the photos, the recordings. Their expressions changed from disbelief to alarm. They searched the house thoroughly behind the walls. They found narrow tunnels, dusty blankets, empty food containers, a hidden door behind my bedroom closet that I had never noticed. Whoever had been living there was gone, but the evidence proved they had been real and close, always close. The police never found the person, no fingerprints, no clear identity. The case eventually went cold, labeled as ongoing investigation. I moved out of the house within a week. I couldn't sleep there again, not knowing how thin the walls truly were. Even now, years later, I still wake up suddenly at night, my heart racing, convinced someone is watching me. Doctors say my heart is fine, but I know how close I came. That secret hidden behind a wall, waiting patiently almost stopped it forever. And sometimes, when I'm half asleep, I swear I hear a familiar voice in the silence, whispering softly, calmly, "You found the box, just like I knew you would."